Alright, hopefully you can hear me over this. I'm actually going to turn it down. Let's turn down our master volume for a little bit here. So, I was asked to make videos explaining the way I choose to do things in RotaryCraft. So, we have a server that we are on, and we play here about twice a week, once or twice a week, in the evenings, and it is open to anyone that would like to donate $1 a month through our Patreon. Will have access to come and play here on this server with us. But I will be. We stream everything we do here. I stream everything we do here, and I'm going to be making videos every now and then, I guess, to show you how I do things. So let me explain how I have gotten started here. So obviously, first thing we had to do is make a blast furnace. So this is our blast furnace, which needs to have heat, which there is a lava source block right behind it. We had it naturally here in the cave, so I just threw the blast furnace over here, and we have sand, coal, and gunpowder, which is what is needed to make HLS, which is needed for everything in RotaryCraft. And then the next thing we made was the work table here, which you can turn off in the configs to where you can use a regular crafting table. We didn't choose to do so. We left all the configs as default. So I'll be using the work table, which has the book integrated right into it. So if you need to look something up, you can always do that instead of having to carry around your RotaryCraft book with you. And this is where you make all your machines. Some of your components that you'll be making will be made in a regular crafting table, but for the most part, the end machine will be done in the work table. So the first thing we wanted to do was get a grinder set up. That way we could 3 times our ores. So the first grinder we set up was actually this one that has the wooden gearbox here. Then we hooked up the stone one once we got some lubricant. You can hook up a wooden gearbox as long as you have a set of cooling pins on it. You'll see the temperature will sit there and fluctuate between 32 and 33, but it will just run all the time. So this one will stay here on my grinder. This is the one making my canola seeds into lubricant. Now the husks here that you see, we will be putting into a centrifuge and getting 90 millibuckets of lubricant for each one of those out eventually. But that was the first one we used, using basic steam engine for power, which it has water, which I'll show you in a bit. All of these have fire underneath them, which keeps them right at the 126 that it needs for power. I originally had put in cooling pins on them, like this one right here, because I couldn't remember if it was the lava or the fire that caused the issue of them blowing up from getting too hot if they didn't have cooling fins. But apparently it's the lava, not the fire. The fire is safe. lava, you will need cooling fans. So we hook this one up next. This is the same exact setup, which we're, like I said, using to make our ores, which you just take these flakes and throw them in a smelter, a furnace, and they turn in 1-for-1 whatever the ore is. Now we also have up here gravel, so we can turn that into sand, and we have cobble, which will turn into the gravel. And it's easily automated with just a hopper underneath and a hopper on top. And we'll be doing the same thing with the husks. Get them out and into the centrifuge when the time comes. So let me take you upstairs, because before you can power that, you need to be able to supply it with water. And to supply it with water, guy here, that guy, away from my pump. So we have this little water feature up here, the world's smallest river, and we brought a pump up here, which is sucking the water out of our river here. I need to put that block in there, and that will actually keep it. If you have infinite water turned on, which is default Minecraft, it will suck up the water, but it'll make a infinite block back. So those two it wouldn't, because they don't have the 3x3 to do it. But you'll see right there, it's sucking out that one, and then it comes back. So as long as you don't have finite water turned on, set this up on any river and it'll just, any water, you can literally put this down in your base over top of an infinite water source. I like to use a river. One, the motor is annoyingly loud, so it's nice to have it not right next to you. And two, I think it's better if you put it in a river. It just looks better to me. So we have a DC engine up here that is going into a 2x1 gearbox to make our pump run, which keeps us nice and full on water downstairs. And its only power is this redstone lever powering this DC engine. And you'll see now that the water is going down in the pump. The gearbox is slowing down and is now stopped, and the engine has stopped. That, turn it back on, starts pumping again. You gotta make sure you have water, because that is the actual fuel for the steam engines. They just use fire underneath them for the heat. Their fuel is the water. So you have to keep them full of water or things will blow up. So then I made a couple extra crushers just in case we need them for something. Like, I will probably be setting these two up for crushing down cobble into gravel, and this one gravel into sand. That way whenever somebody around here needs sand, we already got it. And I may also automate that out to making glass. Then the next thing we did was we made this little field down here with canola and fans. I've got 3 fans set up at the moment, but I don't have everything completely correct, because these can do, if I smack this with this, it'll show you that it'll do a 3x3 area. And well, I've only got it doing 2, but if I turn this one on, should, once it gets up to good speed there. Oh, hey, turn the fan back the right direction. There we go. The fan will actually harvest the canola, and then it comes down and into this water trough, which throws it into this chest, which will then be automated into our grinder to make our stuff. And you can see it also will push you as well. And apparently I need to put a block between those fans to keep those canola seeds going the wrong direction. But it automatically replants. It only breaks what it needs to. As you can see, it did both of those. So I'm actually going to move this fan over, each one of them over a block, and then that way I can have all of this being harvested and won't have overlaps. And I'm not quite sure how far out it'll go, but I know it at least goes this far so far. If I turn this one on, it will take care of harvesting those. You see, it just spits them right on down there. And these are also DC engines with 2x1 gearboxes, but for these, they are in speed mode. When you put a gearbox down, it is typically in torque mode. But if you hit it with a screwdriver here, it will turn its direction, but if you shift click it, it will change its mode from torque over to speed. Which, the one important thing in RotaryCraft is to understand the power versus speed and torque. So the biggest thing you have to worry about with your machines, like if I look at a DC engine here, will tell you that it gives out 4 Newton meters of torque at 256 rads a second, which is a total of 1024 watts of power. So if you look here, power is 1024, 6, torque is 4. And if we look at fan will tell us, if we hit shift, that it needs a minimum power of 1 kilowatt. So that means the DC engine will work for it. But if we go back in the book here and go to the fan, it will say, right here, the fan at higher speeds can also be used to uproot crops, to harvest them, and to put out or spread fires. Okay, so if we look over at the next tab, range is 8 plus power minus minimum power divided by 1025. The harvest speed is 512 rads a second. So this DC engine puts out 1000 at 256, and there is no minimum torque that we need, so we can take the torque and turn it into speed with the gearbox. We just have to do a little math and figure out that 256 times 2 equals 512, so therefore we need a 2-to-1 gearbox, which is why we needed a 4-to-1 gearbox for our grinder, because our steam engine we look here, puts out a total of 16 kilowatts of power at 32 newton meters of torque, 512 speed, which also means you could use this for harvesting your crops, but then you have to either have wooden gearboxes with cooling fins like I already have, or you would have to make the stone gearboxes and use lubricant, and I would rather just wait a minute, you wouldn't even have to have gearboxes, you could just hook it up straight because it's 512 speed. Yeah, you wouldn't even need gearboxes if you did that, but that would mean you'd have a lot more of these really noisy engines and you'd have to have more fire, and I just rather use the DC engine. But if we look at the grinder here, it needs a minimum power of 4, but it needs a minimum torque of 128. And for the steam engine, it says its torque is only 32. So 32 times 4 gives us our 128. So that's why we use the 128, the 4-to-1 gearbox. And then you may notice that there is dirt all over the place. That is because these lubricant hoses can catch on fire from the fire that is underneath the machines. Fire in Minecraft can spread 4 blocks. I will have something around here eventually to cover them. Unfortunately, the lubricant cannot go through a regular liquid pipe. Those liquid pipes will not connect to your gearboxes. You have to use the special lubricant hose. Now, you can technically use pipes from another mod, which will keep from having that problem, which I may eventually do, because we have all kinds of different pipes in this mod pack, but I'm trying to do everything through RotaryCraft itself, and so that's why I'm using it like that. Also, another little trick is you can have any over here. One piece of string. Guess I don't have it. 2 there, but that's still not enough. I need 4. You can put wool around your machines and it'll quiet them up. I think you might be able to... Nope. I was thinking dirt might actually help with it, but no, it doesn't do it. But wool definitely does. And that's really the only way to do it, other than turning down the main sounds. None of the other sound options here, your block sounds and all of that, none of that cares. Only the master. It would be really nice if there was an actual sound muffler in RotaryCraft that you could put in here, because of the fact that one of the noisiest machines is a steam engine, and well, wool burns when it gets caught on fire, so if you try to put wool around these things, they'll catch on fire and burn up and you'll just have a bad day. So that is what we've been doing in RotaryCraft. Up here, Shadow has been doing some stuff with MagnetiCraft, which you can go and check out his channel if he ends up doing some videos for it, which I'm trying to talk him into doing so, and he can explain what he's doing with that. Then over here Junior and Crazy's area. They've got this nice little lava feature here. And Junior has his mechanism stuff over here, which somewhere he has a way of getting upstairs, which his power is up there, and he has his energy cube already full of power back there. Got windmills. He's got a windmill up there and a heat thing in the wall. If anybody wants to see what it is that Junior does with the mechanism things, we can do videos for that as well. I'll just have him do it, and he can explain what he's doing over on the mechanism side. And Crazy has been doing the farming. He's got farms making us food out here somewhere. I spend all my time down here, so I really don't know a whole lot about what's been going on up on the surface. Hi there, buddy. Would you please get away from my door? I'm trying to do a little tour here. I have apple trees, and she's got a little farm over here, but I think she's making bigger farms over here for in Junior's area. Yeah, there's his. Oh, he made a solar panel too. Alright, so there's his solar panel, his advanced solar generator, and his windmill that's making his power. And then apparently her farming stuff is up there. This must be his way down, which I need to get the hell out of here. Trooper blows up Junior's stuff. He's not going to be happy with me. Yeah, come over here, buddy. I'll kick your butt over here. Been doing a lot of fighting of creepers because I need the gunpowder. But Junior can actually make me gunpowder out of flint. So that's why I have 52 gunpowder in there. Because when we are actually streaming, my connection to the server is like 2, and fighting is a real pain in the butt, and the creepers usually blow up. So I'm using his recipe for right there, crusher. He can crush flint into gunpowder, which when it's used for this, it's kind of weird, but in my opinion, using gunpowder to make steel is already weird, so it don't bother me to use it. And then we also have all of our, each one of us has our own set of these. This is my set. Shadow hates it because I throw everything in it, and then he goes and sorts it out into the regular boxes over here. Apparently he thinks only ore stuff should be in mine. I just throw everything in because I don't care. But that is what we've been doing. I will be back with another episode occasionally when we get something else set up, and I will go through what we did, why we did it, how we did it, and at least for the RotaryCraft stuff. And like I said, you can go check out Shadow's channel if he decides to start putting out videos for his stuff. And if you would like to see the mechanism stuff, I will talk Junior into doing videos for his stuff, and find those right here. So, have a good one, take it easy, don't forget to hit the buttons and do the things, and I'll catch you guys next time.